we should definitely be on yen intervention watch, do you think?
Most definitely. I think the yen at this level is clearly very uncomfortable for Japanese officials. But while they will continue to jawbone, most likely, I think actual intervention itself, I think the hurdle is quite high. Because the last time they did that, almost a couple of years ago, it proved only temporary. And in fact, trying to have effective intervention, you really need to go it along with the Fed or some other major central banks to really back you up. I think this time around, the BOJ will find themselves pretty much alone.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think actual intervention will be futile.
Okay, so they're not going to get much help from the Fed, and your point basically is unilateral, one-sided intervention usually doesn't work. You can't really fight the trend, right? The opposite of the countervailing force in that is how much of a drag is the Chinese renminbi on yen right now?
Look, I think the renminbi is not really the main principal drag on the Japanese yen. It's really a simple case of the wide yield differential between U.S. yields and Japanese yields. Despite the Bank of Japan finally exiting from their negative interest rate policy, at the end of the day, their policy rate is still between 0 to 0.1%, whereas the Fed funds rate is still at 5.5%. So when you have such a wide yield differential, it's still very attractive to use yen as a funding currency. And you really need that yield differential to narrow a whole lot more in order to start to reduce that pressure.
So in other words, yen carry is still alive for
yen
now.
carry is still very much alive. In fact, if you look across Asia, the pressure on Asian currencies tend to be those that are low yielding. So we've seen even the likes of Taiwan dollar and Korean won also weakening over the past couple of weeks. And this is despite the CBC, Taiwan Central Bank, unexpectedly hiking rates last week that did not really help the Taiwan dollar much at all.
Yeah.
Khoon, in terms of targets then for dollar yen, we've been hearing topping out at 152 and ending the year. That's a tough one depending on the pace of normalization at the BOJ. 130 makes sense by the end of the year? Or
Look, I think
aggressive?
130 is probably a little bit aggressive, to be honest with you. We are not expecting the Bank of Japan to further normalize policy this year. We think they will probably wait until next year, look for further evidence that inflation is really entrenched before the Bank of Japan will continue to hike.